Hey there, health warriors. Today I'm going to go over different causes of shortness of air. So, if you're watching this video, more than likely you have been short of breath before. So, there are lots of different ways that your lungs can get to that point to where you're having a hard time breathing. So, I wanted to try to cover as many of them as I could, just so you realize that it might not be one specific thing causing the shortness of breath, okay? So, in order to treat the shortness of breath, you have to know why you're getting it. Now, the first thing, of course, is your lungs. Almost every, or I guess I shouldn't say almost, but every lung condition can cause shortness of air, but it does it several different ways. So, the first way that it does it is by actually the airways constrict. So, your airways are normally open, so you can get the air through. Then the bronchoconstriction takes place and they get smaller and smaller, making it harder to get the air in and out. Now, the main treatment for that is a bronchodilator. So that would be like a rescue inhaler or a nebulizer that's going to help open those airways back up. Another way is through the inflammation. So the inflammation in your lungs, it'll inflame the outer parts of your airways, which will also make your airways smaller. And then on top of that, it is going to cause mucus production. So you get mucus stuck in your airways, and the air is going to have a hard time getting through there. And then finally, the one everybody thinks of is your oxygen level is low. So I get asked this a lot because a lot of people have breathing problems when they have perfect oxygen levels, and that is common. It's not everybody has the drop in oxygen. So if your oxygen is not dropping and it's normal and you're short of breath, putting oxygen on is not going to help you at all. Okay. It's not going to make you feel any better. So you always do need to listen. If your doctor does the specific testing on you and they say you don't need it, just trust them in that because they don't want to give you something you don't need, obviously. But if you are someone who does have oxygen drops, then of course the best way to treat that would be with oxygen. Now, once you get past all the different things that can happen with lung disease, you also can look at heart problems. The heart and the lungs are very closely related. Sometimes really bad lung problems can cause heart problems. So they go hand in hand. But the main way that the heart can cause shortness of breath is if it starts to not pump correctly, then and you get some kind of an arrhythmia that can cause shortness of breath. And then also if you get to where it can't pump all the blood through fully, then it starts to back up, and that can cause pulmonary edema, which can also cause shortness of breath. Next on there, I have anxiety. So anxiety is a huge cause of shortness of air. So it's something that if that is the only reason for your shortness of breath, you really want to make sure that you just cut it out. So you need to, if the doctor recommends anxiety medication, you want to do that. You also want to practice breathing exercises as well as meditation, anything to just kind of calm your body down so that you're not getting that anxious shortness of breath. Next on there, I have obesity. Now, this could be just an extra 10 pounds might be noticeable to somebody. So the best way to think about it is, you're going to be, let's say you only have 20 extra pounds on you. Well, that would be like me walking around with 20 pounds in my hands trying to do stuff all day. It does make a big difference. So if you can get a little bit on the leaner side, that will help your breathing every time. Also is exercise intolerance. So if you do not exercise regularly and then all of a sudden you go out on a hike, you might get a little bit short of breath. So that's one of the reasons I always recommend moving often, not being sedentary for too long. One that people don't really think about a lot is anemia. So if your red blood cells are low, your oxygen will also be low because the blood cells carry the oxygen. And then finally, allergies. So allergies can cause shortness of breath by causing cough, irritation, stuff like that. So literally, there's so many reasons that you could be getting short of breath. It's important that you figure out what your reason is so that you can do what you need to do to ease that problem. So knowledge is everything when it comes to this stuff. Okay, so be your own advocate, figure out what is causing shortness of breath for you so that you can try to feel better.